HiWay 16, FeMale Genocide, a collaboration with Soldier Blue and Catherine Wyatt. Silent Sisters, Solemn Nights, the journey that begins with a raw step onto HiWay 16, a sanguine carpet stretched across the paths of we who come after. Yea, another moniker, the Highway of Tears. Helen Betty Osborne, November 13th of 1971. Found dead. Mary Jane Sirloin, missing 12/23 of 81. Found dead 12/25/81. Shelley Napop, missing summer of 92. Found murdered in 1994. Eva Tasyup, disappeared 92. Found strangled 1992. Kalinda Waterhead, missing 92. Found strangled 1994. Yeah, these are only a few of those whom have made part of the sorrow deep within the heart of Red Earth. 600 of my silent sisters these past 45 years upon this highway of tears and annihilation of native sisters, babies, to women and grandmothers. Where have they gone? What has become of them? Do they dance in the corners, the shadows of the darkness, just out of sight? Where are my silent sisters? Who has stolen that which was a gift from the Creator, and under the auspice of whose design have they delivered this sacrifice, which none of us would have asked for? We of Red Earth remember all of these who are our disappeared ones at the hands of those whom have served convictions and been released. Released? How do you send something back into the shadows of night who have gutted native women like a fish, their bodies laying fallow and flesh rotting in the marshlands, waiting for law enforcement to do their job, or perhaps a friend or a brother or someone of family to turn their direction, to turn up the truth of what happened to them? Maybe just waiting, bones moldering in the leaves of befouled, water-drenched glens, waiting for someone, anyone, to just turn the corner and bring them home for that sleep of the eternal, away from their last suffering, or was it their last supper? The agony that cost them more than anything supposedly divine. With the foul smoke of murder upon their remnant remains, and one such befouled human being, when asked of one of his victims, said, "I thought her name was Angel." No remorse, no sign of shame, no humanity, and you foul entities of supposed justice have set him free? Sentenced again some years later, but you set him free to commit more of the same upon my silent sisters. Do you, the RCMP, then feel your shame? Helen Betty Osborne was abducted and brutally murdered.
Near the Pas, Manitoba, early in the morning in 1971. Rape is an act of physical violence and domination. Rapists do not select their victims by appearance. They select victims who are vulnerable and accessible. Victims of sexual assault range in age group from infants to the elderly. Sexual attractiveness is not an issue for a rapist. Demolition of patriarchal mind bindings, women's capacities infinitely diminished under patriarchy. Liminal women, made subliminal, pushed from the foreground to the background of a phallocratic mentality, permeating a racist, anti-feminine society. Manitobans asked why it took 16 years to bring people to trial for this brutal murder. Snool's toadies to the patriarchy, blinded by hegemony. Sin is traced from Indo-European roots. S meaning to be, this etymology locks a woman trapped in patriarchy to be, in essence, seen as transgression incarnate. Between 1973 and 1983, only intermittent checks were made on Helen Betty Osborne's case. Razor-like acuity and freight train force, the history of ritualized oppression, violence against women and indigenous peoples, liminal, trivial, subhuman, in the eyes of phallocentricity, male-dominant society, continue to be trivialized. They seep into my dreams, dancing upon the edges of what was once warmth.
'Neath grandmother moon and her light, now the staccato echo of strobe lights hitting the lines of the highway. 16, the annual walks gathering the strength of native women in the lands of the grandmother, aka Canada. Yeah, the latest form of freebase genocide, destroying the sacred of future generations by removing those, the native women, you can no longer use practices of sterilization on so easily without direct opposition. So now you choose running dog perversions of the battle dogs. Yea, Jack the Ripper's smile from hell must be pleased that you have carried on his work legally, as there is no concerted effort on their behalf. My silent sisters, the ones you ignore, the innocent, the runaways, the addicted, the women scraping by, trying one way or another to feed their children, or the housewife who just happens to be métis, and so less than you, or a full-blood female from the reserves that maybe stepped upon the toes of misconceived manhood. Yeah, I stand for these, for all of these, for they are all my silent sisters, whether you recognize their worth or not. We, as Red Earth, do. And we look for all of these, my silent sisters, where'er they may be. We will find them, our loved ones, whom have made this bone-fed carpet of stained remains of our precious ones, my silent sisters. This is, make no mistake, yet another form of genocide.
Matricide, the creation of generations of twisted paradigms, mind-bending, mythical ritual breeding of patriarchal patterns, now enacted on a highway of tears across Highway 16 in Canada. Another hanging of native women on lace, the cross sections that created manimals like Bundy, no conscience because the social conscience is twisted, moving the liminal ones to the background, that place in the foreground, that ground occupied by those occupying territory, raping the mother, now takes her daughters, liminal. Do you even search for red or silent sisters? Who is speaking and who is listening? Lana Derrick, age 19, disappeared 1995, unsolved. Delphine Nicole, age 16, disappeared from Smithers, 1995, unsolved. Roxanne Thiara, age 15, disappeared from Prince George, 1994, unsolved. 600 on Highway 16 in the last 45 years. Why should you look for the liminal, holocaustal population control? Yeah, works nicely for you, doesn't it? They dance to the side of my eyes.
Their lives outright taken, or just beyond the shades of the gathering ambient life we call life. Their abject sorrow, another form of chains, their breath the threads that connect us. And though I can't see them, and though many times I can no longer feel them, I know they are there, waiting to be found, to be given back what was stolen, life, or the rest of the ancients which so far has been denied them. Yea, all my red earth silent sisters, no exceptions. We await their proper return, the homecoming of grace, to return balance to we the peoples, first nations of this our Turtle Island and a chance to heal. I say this with the knowing that there are other scenes that will then be brought to the fore. Yea, those who refuse to carry out their responsibilities because to them in their search of starch-pressed suits and uniforms this was just another Indian. Hey ya, hey ya, I am Indian, and I will continue to stand for all my silent sisters. Sisters of mine, we are your relations, and we wait for you. As well, we look for you, and we have not given up anything or any means of trying to find you. And the words raise as if smoke to caress the wind limbs of your crying spirits. And we look for you, using what we have been given for the benefit of you, until you should all come home, and we find a way to stop this new genocide, this modern holocaustal feature. We deny those who try their rights to continue this. It is enough. Where are my silent sisters? I search for them on nights when all is quiet as stones. I and the ragged children sing as you sigh with sorrow, and we gather to seek as many of you as we can find, as we walk between the stelaid storied stones upon our nightly dream journeys upon the ghost road. Yea, where are my silent sisters? We seek you windward upon the ghost road. Hey ya, hey ya, we will find you, my silent sisters. We will find you between the smoke and the last fire upon the ghost road, and walk you from the highway of tears unto your sacred hearth and home. With us, by us, you let yet live within us. We, the ragged children who walk yet the ghost road.